From Bristol Motor Speedway in the Thunder Valley, the Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series is ready to get down and dirty here at the last Coliseum. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Independence Racing Network. Bobby Blazer, our points leader, is opening the door for a challenger in point standings. Meanwhile, we have several drivers without wins this season, and they're hungry for a dirty win. This should prove to be an exciting night for racing from all four turns here at Bristol Motor Speedway. I'm Dave Regal in the Northeastern Fire and Air broadcast booth, and I'll be with you every step of the way, from the green flag to the checkered flag on the Independence Racing Network. And folks, we are glad to have you in with us tonight. We are looking at some really exciting dirt racing, as this is something that's not normal for the Xfinity Series. Something that you guys should know there at home is that these cars don't have a dirt model tire. So, you know, what you're seeing right now is Robert Nestor here in the number 29 laying his qualifying lap. He's doing this on, basically asphalt slicks. There's no treads in here. There's no grips, as he posts a P4 time here, and Michael Overstreet sitting atop the standings here in P1. Very small field tonight, as looks like 14 cars here in qualifying. Now, there will be heat races. We'll have a pair of heat races before our 150-lap feature. And, of course, that 150-lap feature will have stage breaks at lap 40, lap 90, and then to the end. So definitely going to be a lot of racing, here in the dirt, a lot of side-by-side racing. And we're glad to have you here in the Independence Racing Network broadcast booth, sponsored by Northeastern Fire and Air. And the Monday Night Xfinity Series is brought to you by Buttkicker and RS Button Boxes, as we'll talk a little bit more about what RS Button Boxes and Buttkicker are doing for the Monday Night Xfinity season. Looks like only two drivers haven't taken the field yet, or haven't taken to the track yet. Right now, as we stand, Michael Overstreet, Timmy Trowbridge, and Alex Prince in your top three. Jackson Derby and Doug Argabright have not gone out to lay a qualifying time yet. Not sure, for lack of a better term, what they're waiting for. But while we wait for qualifying to wrap up here, we will hear from our good friends over at Northeastern Fire and Air. In 2007, Ray Regal had a vision of serving his fellow firefighters' breathing air needs better. As a City of Reading firefighter since 1975, he knows the difficulties of finding the best and most affordable service company to care for and manage the most important means of survival firefighters have: breathing air. Northeastern Fire and Air is committed to providing our brothers and sisters with the best service in the industry and at an affordable cost. For more information, call 610-207-6608 for a consultation today, and know that you can breathe easy with Northeastern Fire and Air.
With the Buttkicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Buttkicker, the future is feeling.
Welcome back to Bristol Motor Speedway. You're watching the Independence Racing Network's Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series. I'm Dave Regal here in the broadcast booth. And folks, if you're just tuning in on YouTube.com, feel free to subscribe. Turn on those bell notifications so that we can give you a notification every Monday night when we go live here on IRN. And, things definitely starting to heat up now as we are into week number 9 of the Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series. And, points-wise, Bobby Blazer sits atop here with 2 wins, 6 top 5s, and 6 top 10s. But he's tied with Mike Wright, as Mike Wright has 1 win, 5 top 5s, and 7 top 10s. And, of course, they are both tied with 335 points each. Dakota Cave sits there with sole possession of third place. He's here with 243 points, so trailing Mike Wright and Bobby Blazer by just under 100 points. Now, John Bawalda and Robert Nestor round out the top 5 with Chris Claude in 6th. So keep in mind that Nestor, Claude, and Bawalda, all 3 of those drivers are out here in the field tonight. So, I mean, quite frankly, as we're getting geared up here for that first heat, these drivers got to be racking up some points here to start chasing down Dakota Cave, Mike Wright, and Bobby Blazer. The other interesting thing here between Bawalda, Nestor, and Claude, as they are clawing their way up here in the point standings, is that each of these 3 men has kind of a stake in the race, as Robert Nestor is your Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series commissioner, John Bawalda, your Tuesday Night Thunder Truck Series commissioner, and, of course, Chris Claude, the granddaddy of them all there in the Cup Series on Sunday Night NASCAR, your commissioner over there. So Chris Claude definitely has assembled himself a dedicated group of drivers and leaders here with this league, and glad to have them all here. Just waiting for about another minute and a half here as qualifying wrapping up. Right now, the qualifying order, pretty simple. Michael Overstreet in the number 39 Toyota Supra sits atop the pile, followed by Tim Trowbridge, Alex Prince, and Jarrett Small. Tim Swiggett, Bob Nestor, Eugenio Alonso, Chris Claude, Alexander Gangler, Zach Vaughn, who actually is still out here on track in the number 91 Chevrolet, sponsored by Texaco Haviland. John Bawalda III in the number 51 Chevrolet. And Dakota Cave rounds out your top 12 in the 12 cars who have laid laps down. And with about 1 minute left in qualifying, it looks like Jackson Derby and Doug Argabright, newcomers to the Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series tonight, as I have not seen their names here on the leaderboard, still have not turned a lap here in qualifying. So kind of interesting. I mean, if you're gonna come into a league, usually you want to try to make that first impression a lasting impression. And here we are getting ready for heat number 1. Looks like heat number 1 going to be loaded with Michael Overstreet, Alex Princeton, Tim Swiggett, Eugenio Alonso, Alexander Gangler, John Bawalda, and Doug Argabright. And it looks like, again, Doug Argabright not going to be making the start as he still hasn't gotten in the car as the other 6 drivers in this heat have begun to grid. The Salisbury, North Carolina native Michael Overstreet in the number 39 leads the field out behind that iRacing.com Chevrolet Pace truck. And we keep looking back here through the field as Alex Princeton from Lake Elmo, Minnesota, in the number 19 Toyota Camry is on the outside of row 1. Row 2 features Tim Swiggett and Eugenio Alonso. Row 3, Alexander Gangler from Big Rock in the number 82 Toyota Supra. And on the outside of row number 3, John S. Bawalda from Bel Air, Maryland, driving the number 51 Jackdow Motorsports Chevrolet. These drivers are ready. I know I'm ready. So really not much else to do but sit here and watch that pace truck turn its lights off as we are getting ready to check the belts and get ready to go green flag racing. We see these drivers taking their time tonight as they don't want to get too over anxious here with this 15 laps of a heat race to watch. We've got a long night ahead of us. That Chevrolet Pace truck dives down pit road. Michael Overstreet with the control of the field waits for the green flag to wave. The man in the stand has the green flag in his hand, and we are underway here at Bristol Motor Speedway in the dirt. Michael Overstreet takes off down out of turns 1 and 2 and heads down the backstretch with nothing in his way but fresh open dirt. The 37 of Tim Swiggett gets swung into turn 3 and 4 as it looks like Eugenio Alonso working the inside of Alex Princeton in the number 19, trying to get a run on him, but Princeton able to hold on. Whoa! Gets himself into the wall, flashes a little bit with a little bit of a connection issue for Princeton. But we look back here to Alexander Gangler, usually race control on Sunday night NASCAR's Cup Series, now behind the wheel in Monday night NASCAR's Xfinity Series, driving the number 82 paint scheme, of course, drawn up and imagined by our good friend over there, Dusty Truckee. Dusty Truckee, of course, also known as Tom McGee. And we are always glad to be showcasing the work of all of these different talented drivers out here on the track. And right now, with 11 laps to go, it looks like Alex Princeton still having some connection issues as Tim Swiggett is chasing down Michael Overstreet. But I got to be honest with you folks, Michael Overstreet here atop the standings in heat number 1 looks like he's giving Tim Swiggett a run for his money. And keep in mind, again, we see Swiggett coming sideways, oh my, down the front stretch, trying to find some kind of grip. And as I talk about grip, you have to remember that these drivers have no treads on these cars. These are all asphalt slick tires out there because, like we had talked about before, NASCAR and iRacing do not have a tire model for these drivers. So although that it might look like Tim Swiggett's loose, he's just completely riding around on a sheet of ice. Looking back to Eugenio Alonso in the number 86 Chevrolet, holding it together, and of course Alexander Gangler bringing up the last 2 spots alongside of John Bawalda in the number 51 Chevrolet. 8 laps to go here as Michael Overstreet is now developing a commanding lead over Tim Swiggett in the number 37 Toyota. So 3 Toyotas atop the standings with a couple of Chevrolets. No blue ovals yet tonight in this race. And to be honest with you, I'm not entirely sure if there are going to be any Fords here in tonight's race. Folks, if you're just tuning in on YouTube.com, I'm Dave Regal here in the Northeastern Fire and Air broadcast booth. You're watching the Independence Racing Network's presentation of Monday Night NASCAR's Xfinity Series, brought to you by Buttkicker and RS Button Boxes. And I know that we've talked about it before several times, but, you know, I really want to go over and discuss what these drivers can win. It looked like the 37's rubbing the wall. Oh, and the 51 and the 19 get together back there as Alex Princeton was trying to get around John Bawalda. Bawalda having a little bit of trouble getting around him, but Bawalda able to bring it back under control as he now has about a lap down behind Overstreet and Tim Swiggett. We are under caution here with 3 laps to go. So unlike some of the races that we've seen, some of the heat races that we've seen here, we are going to have cautions turned on for this heat race. Just 4 laps to go as this field has been frozen here. And now 3 laps to go as it looks like heat number 2 here with Michael Overstreet, Tim Swiggett, Eugenio Alonso, Alexander Gangler, John Bawalda, Alex Princeton, and, of course, Doug Argabright not joining the field here with 4 to go. Get themselves reset as that iRacing.com Chevrolet pace truck gets ready to turn them out. We get ready to go back green flag racing. Folks, just dealing with a little bit of audio issues, taking care of things here. Tell you what, the inside lane looking pretty treacherous on restarts here, and seems like it's going to be tough. Don't get me wrong, folks. It's going to be tough for these drivers to get traction darn near anywhere out here on this track, as here just a few laps in, that dirt definitely needs to be groomed here, as it looks like Alex Princeton in the number 19 Onyx Toyota Supra sitting on pit road. Obviously some repairs that have to be done here. John Bawalda rounding out your top 5, the only car a lap down and not in the pits. That leaves just 4 here in this heat race on the lead lap as the Chevrolet pace truck lights are out and we get ready to go. Folks, remember that if you're watching us on YouTube, turn on those bell notifications, subscribe to the Independence Racing Network, and get a notification every time we go live here on YouTube.com. Michael Overstreet takes the restart with 3 laps to go, manages not to spin the tires completely as he takes it down into turns 1 and 2. We can see him really working his way through there as he brings these cars down the backstretch. Wow! Looks like Gangler has all kinds of trouble holding on to that thing as it looks more like he was driving a fish. Or not Gangler, but Alonso trying to hold a fish there. And right now with 2 to go, we are racing toward the white flag, the 37 of Tim Swiggett chasing down Michael Overstreet. Michael Overstreet looks like he can't be chased down tonight so far. As we take a look here, the Salisbury, North Carolina native getting ready to capture the checkered flag here in heat number 2. I'm sorry, heat number 1. Odd. Getting ready to bring it all the way home. Crosses the start-finish line, and Michael Overstreet, your first heat winner here in Monday Night NASCAR's Xfinity Series. The results of this race, of course, are Michael Overstreet, Tim Swiggett, Eugenio Alonso, Alexander Gangler, John Bawalda, Alex Princeton, and Doug Argabright. Heat number 2 getting ready to fire off as the engines are started and the drivers are just climbing into their cars. This heat will be, of course, led on the inside of row 1 by Tim Trowbridge and Jarrett Small on the outside of row 1. Bob Nestor and Chris Claude, Joe Gibbs Racing teammates, make up row 2. Row 3 is Zach Vaughn and Dakota Cave. And row 4 would be Jackson Derby on the inside, but it looks like he will not be taking the field. So 15 laps to go here in this heat as these drivers now starting to get underway. Those iRacing.com Chevrolet Pace Truck lights are off. That means that we are getting ready to go green flag racing here. And I'm sorry that some of this feels a little bit robotic tonight, folks, but working alone here without my normal broadcast partners over at Sim Racing Media and ESPN, it feels a little awkward, especially not to have my good friend Tony Trapasso or Greg McConey by my side. But we do see that iRacing.com Chevrolet Pace Truck dive down pit road. Tim Trowbridge, with his finger on the button, waits for the man in the stand to wave the green flag. And we are underway here in heat number 2 in the Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Dirt Series here on the Independence Racing Network. Tim Trowbridge gets a run. And I'll tell you what, his performance last night in the Cup Series was something to behold, as it was near the end when his night was ruined. But Chris Claude running right now in 5th position, with Zach Vaughn bringing up the rear in the 6th position. Looks like Jackson Derby will also not be taking the field. And Chris Claude able to dive this car down here. I'm not sure which setup he's using. But speaking of setups, I do want to talk about Jones Racing setups. Although that they are not an official sponsor here on the Independence Racing Network or Monday Night NASCAR's Xfinity Series, I approached them last week to talk about, building a setup for these cars, because these cars, as we can see Trowbridge setting up to go wide into turn 3. These cars don't have a dirt tire on them. There's no treads, there's no grooves, there's no nothing. It's an asphalt slick literally running out here on the dirt. These drivers are muscling these cars around here step by step and inch by inch. This is all pure muscle. But so I had approached the Jones Racing Setup Shop, an official partner of Sim Racing Media, and explained the situation. I said, hey, listen, this is what we got going on. We can't find a setup on Pay to Win or McConey or any VRS, because Xfinity, the B cars in the public races aren't here this week. So a couple of the guys over there started working on the setup, and so far tonight, as you can see on your screen, These guys working up as best they can. Of course, although that, as you can see tonight, I'm a baseball fan. Right now, I'm a dirt fan, as Tim Trowbridge still leading this piece here with 10 laps to go. Gets himself set up to cross the start-finish line with now 9 laps to go. Looks like Trowbridge won't be having a problem with anybody else, as he has a 3.63 second lead over Jarrett Small in the number 17 Chevrolet. And to be completely honest, there is not much competition here, as everybody has 1 second or more between themselves. The closest there is right now is Zach Vaughn to Chris Claude, as Chris Claude trying to hold on to this piece in the number 10 Dasani Toyota Supra. As he crosses the start-finish line, we are 8 laps to go as Claude takes a pretty hard dip down out of turn 2, being chased by Zach Vaughn in the number 91 Haviland Chevrolet. Tim Trowbridge, if my vision is correct, and I'm pretty sure it is, Tim Trowbridge is our only blue oval Ford from Dearborn, Michigan tonight, out here in the number 74. Everybody else is either driving that Chevrolet bow tie or that Toyota logo there on those Supras. So definitely Toyota and Chevy heavy. Tim Trowbridge still your race leader here with 4 to go now. 4 to go, of course, is when we had the caution come out during the last heat. But right now, Dakota Cave chasing down Jarrett Small in the number 17. So the 17 and the 7 going at it. As there is now, get this, a 7-second gap between Cave and Nestor. And, Nestor, a very patient driver in his own right. Someone who I consider to be my Obi-Wan Kenobi. Very patient driver. At this point, he knows that, there's no way to be eliminated from the feature. So he is more than willing. Wow, it looks like, oh man! Chris Claude and Zach Vaughn nearly get together as Zach Vaughn takes the low side, sends Claude up the racetrack, and they go 3 wide for a second as Timmy Trowbridge splits the two of them like bananas and ice cream. The 17 slides back up in front of the 7. The 17 starting to look a little wild. I'll tell you what, folks, with this lap count tonight, of 150 laps around this ring here, it's going to be a long night. Tim Trowbridge, your winner of heat number 2, just before he was able to put Bob Nestor down. And we are finally all wrapped up through all of that. So the 2 heat races able to get things together. We will have a little warm-up session. And folks, while we are warming up, do want to talk to you about what Buttkicker and RS Button Boxes are doing. The champion of the Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series will get his choice of a Buttkicker and the choice of an iFlag or $100. Second place and third place will each receive a Buttkicker. This is in the series point standings. Then fourth place will get whatever the champion didn't choose, either the iFlag or $100. Then, of course, the top non-playoff driver gets whatever the champion and then fourth place didn't choose. So, definitely lots of giveaways here, sponsored by our good friends over at Buttkicker and RS Button Boxes. And while we do that, we are going to step aside here for just a few minutes and pay some bills here with our good friends over at Northeastern Fire and Air and Buttkicker.
With the Buttkicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Buttkicker. The future is feeling.
In 2007, Ray Regal had a vision of serving his fellow firefighters' breathing air needs better. As a City of Reading firefighter since 1975, he knows the difficulties of finding the best and most affordable service company to care for and manage the most important means of survival firefighters have, breathing air. Northeastern Fire and Air is committed to providing our brothers and sisters with the best service in the industry and at an affordable cost. For more information, call 610-207-6608 for a consultation today and know that you can breathe easy with Northeastern Fire and Air. Folks, you are watching the Independence Racing Network. I'm Dave Regal here in the Northeastern Fire and Air broadcast booth. We are just getting ready for everyone to get good and warmed up here. Here as we've got about a minute left of warm-up. Here in the live chat, looks like Rebecca Miller saying, "Come on, son, number 7." So number 7, of course, being Dakota Cave. And Jack Dow Motorsports says that this Xfinity Series has some of the best racing he's ever seen. And you are absolutely welcome, Jack Dow Motorsports. We are glad to be here every week with you. Me, myself, I personally, I have a deep allegiance to this league as, without so many of these drivers, especially Bob Nestor and Chris Claude, having brought me in and made me feel like family here, I wouldn't have even been racing in this league a year ago, let alone broadcasting it today. Wow, and it looks like Eugenio Alonso just got it all kinds of sideways here. I want to take a quick run back here. Looks like there's about 10 seconds left, so we'll take one look here as Eugenio Alonso manages to lock him up and just slide around. Does manage to control that car all the way through, but he's going to have some trouble here trying to get moving. And folks, we are getting ready to grid here for the Monday Night NASCAR 150 here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Michael Overstreet going to be sitting on the pole for this piece on row 1 on the inside with Tim Trowbridge on the outside of row 1. Row 2 made up of Tim Swiggett and Jared Small. Row 3 going to be Eugenio Alonso and Dakota Cave. Row 4 is Alexander Gangler and Bob Nestor. Row 5, John Bawalda and Zach Vaughn. Alex Princeton and Chris Claude make up row 6. And row 7 is going to be non-existent as Doug Argabright and Jackson Derby not having taken the field, as everybody else has gotten themselves into the car underway. And following that, iRacing.com pace truck, who already has his lights out, so I believe that we will be 1 to go here, which is fairly early. Well, folks, that iRacing.com Chevrolet pace truck diving down pit road. Everybody, get your eyes on the man in the stand who has the green flag in his hand. We are green flag racing. It's Bristol Dirt, baby! Michael Overstreet takes the lead, but Tim Trowbridge working the outside. Oh, gets himself checked up a little bit. We are looking live from the blimp cam as Tim Trowbridge, Tim Swiggett, and Jarrett Small here battling it out for second, third, and fourth position, respectively. Michael Overstreet in the number 39 leads this piece as we are now just a few laps in here. We will get that ticker up here live for you. As 3 laps of 150 are complete. Now that's 3 laps of 150 total. But we are, of course, heading for lap number 40, which will signal the end of stage 1. The running order right now, Michael Overstreet, Tim Trowbridge, Tim Swiggett, Jarrett Small, Dakota Cave, all running here in that top 5. Looks like Dakota Cave chasing down Jarrett Small for P4. As Bob Nestor and John Bawalda are now working side by side here. Nestor on the inside swings it out. And it looks like Eugenio Alonso ready to take Nestor on the inside as Nestor stays on the outside, of course, to keep himself as freed up as he can as Nestor gets a run on Bawalda. These cars here going to get themselves into a situation, I'm fairly certain. And it looks like Tim Trowbridge has gotten himself into a situation here. Forgive me, folks. I'm not going to lie to you, as you will only get the truth here on the Independence Racing Network. I had a leg cramp and had to get up from my desk, as that has never happened. We'll take a look here at Tim Trowbridge in the number 74 Ford. And we see him working the inside of Michael Overstreet here. Just rubs the wall as he crosses the start-finish line and do-si-does himself right along the track. And not one person saw that, did you? Nothing major, just a little self-spin, nothing. You know, Tim is very good at controlling every car that he has ever driven. So, you know, to be completely honest, not the end of the world. We're 10 laps in of 150. And folks, do forgive me for my leg cramp there, which caused a little bit of dead air. Not sure why. I've never had it happen before, but you'll only get the truth here on the Independence Racing Network. You couldn't hear a thing I just said, could you, folks? Long story short, Michael Overstreet, Tim Swiggett, Jared Small, Dakota Cave, and Bob Nestor, your top 5. You know, one of the things that we always pride ourselves here is apologizing for when we have mistakes. So it's maybe the leg cramp thing kind of has me a little sideways right now, as that took me out of my rhythm. Michael Overstreet now catching up alongside Tim Trowbridge, who had brought out that caution. Trowbridge, of course, in the 12th position there, 12th and final position. Overstreet, Swiggett, Small, Cave, Nestor, Alonso, Chris, Claude, John Bawalda, Alexander Gangler, and Alex Princeton round out your top 10, as we're going to see Tim Trowbridge take his wave around here with 13 laps of 150 complete at Bristol Motor Speedway. We are back under green flag conditions here as Michael Overstreet leads the field down through turns 1 and 2. And so far, it looks like Jared Small and Tim Swiggett trying to duke it out. But Dakota Cave in the number 7 Toyota Supra, working the inside of the 17, now being passed by Eugenio Alonso, with Bob Nestor there in the number 29 Relative Properties Toyota Supra, chasing the two of them down. And I'm willing to bet that Bob is going to wait till something bad happens. Eugenio and Jared, Eugenio and Dakota, as it looks like Bob is taking the high line. And to put it in terms, Bob probably feeling like tonight's car is some form of fecal matter. I see all you folks watching here on YouTube.com. I'm Dave Regal here in the Northeastern Fire and Air broadcast booth. You're watching Monday Night NASCAR's Xfinity Series, brought to you by RS Button Boxes and Buttkicker. Folks, we are glad to be bringing you race number 9. Now, for folks that aren't aware of how some of the iRacing League rules work, this will be what's called a drop race in this particular league. So if a driver should finish terrible, or, you know, keep in mind, with only 14 spots available, 2 of which don't have anybody out on track for, you're guaranteed a top 12 spot, you know, and unless you're having a really bad night, which, of course, as I say that, looks like Zach Vaughn, the number 91, chasing down Alexander Gangler, and that Taylor Swift hand-painted Toyota there. In fact, let's take a look at that. That is from our good friend Tom McGee, driver of the number 47 Care Bears machine. Usually, yes, Gangler was trying to get Taylor Swift off the side of that car. But that is a Tom McGee homemade paint scheme, and glad to have him with us. You know what? Here's the cool thing about Monday Night NASCAR's. Oh, and Dakota Cave gets a face full of outside wall here. Rebecca Miller, his mom, cheering him on. So Dakota, glad to have you here with us as always. You know, Dakota Cave from Fishersville, a very dedicated racer himself, always out here to be competitive, but not to be dirty. And looks like Alex Princeton may have had a dust-up. We'll take a look at that, too, while we're at it. And we see Princeton here in the number 19 coming out of the turn. Just has a connection issue, flashes out. Of course, once he comes back, all kinds of mess. You know, that can be very disorienting, especially if your connection is going in and out. And folks, we talk about connection issues all the time. As, you know, no internet connection is perfect. You know, you could, I'm sure that at Comcast, Bright House, Verizon, I'm sure that they might even have outages in those buildings where those places are headquartered at. So, you know, no system is perfect. No one provider is perfect. Right now, the way we're running, we are working our way toward lap number 40. for the end of stage one. Michael Overstreet leads the field here with 2.45 seconds over Tim Swiggett. Jared Small trailing Swiggett by 5.9, now 6 point and almost 6.1 seconds. Dakota Cave, though, chasing down Jared Small. As it seems like every week the 7 and the 17 are just right next to one another. Of course, Alex Princeton now chasing down Timmy Trowbridge. Timmy, of course, was leading this piece earlier. Got things a little sideways, but, you know, these drivers all out here doing one heck of a job. And, folks, if you do like hanging out with me on a Monday night, if you're one of our viewers, whether you're Jack Dow Motorsports, Rebecca Miller, or, you know, some of our other legion of fans, which we are always glad to have you in with us. I'm glad to have you in with us tonight here in the Northeastern Fire and Air broadcast booth. Check out Sim Racing Media's podcast every Friday. It does drop on Spotify, and you can check it out over on Sim Racing Media's Facebook page. That's The Money Stop featuring Tony and Dave, and that's the great Tony Trapasso along with me, Dave Regal. And we've got a good podcast for you. This week, you will be hearing from two drivers that we talk about on the regular here on Monday Night NASCAR. And I don't want to spoil who it is, but suffice it to say that they are two very skilled drivers and absolute regulars. So glad to have them in with us, as we'll be getting to record that tomorrow, probably a little in the evening there towards 7 o'clock tomorrow night. It'll drop then Friday, hopefully about midday on Friday. To go here in stage number one, as we have completed 31 of 150 total laps. Michael Overstreet, your race leader, over top of Tim Swiggett by 4.04 seconds. Now, Swiggett is leading Jared Small by almost 9 seconds, and then Jared Small in front of Dakota Cave by just over 2 seconds. Right now, closest race on the track is between Tim Trowbridge and Alex Princeton, as John Bawalda trails Alexander Gangler by about 7 seconds. He now has a rear windshield full of Chris Claude. As the 19 gets up into the wall, he can't be too happy with that. As we'll take a look back at that and see what's going on there. And we see Princeton come through. Oh, Waldo went down. Princeton had to check up, and when Princeton checked up, he slid up into the wall. All but 5 laps to go here in the feature race at Bristol Dirt. Here at Bristol Motor Speedway, Michael Overstreet, still your race winner, about to put the number 51 car of John Bawalda III down a lap yet again, as he gets on the right rear of Bawalda. Oh! Just sounded like something bad may have happened, but it doesn't look like anything bad happened, as Bob Nestor trying to hold on to that last spot on the lead lap, as things have definitely toughened up here on this racetrack. .37 laps complete of 150 here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Michael Overstreet, Tim Swiggett, and Jared Small, your top 3. Pit lane should be closed now, as these drivers are getting ready to head toward the stage break, as we do run full length, you know, the same length races that they would in real life here on iRacing.com. And tonight, of course, our stage breaks are at 40, lap 90, and then we take that, of course, you know, rest of that stretch to the end of 100, looks like 40 laps altogether. 110 laps altogether. We do want to keep an eye on those point standings tonight, as Bobby Blazer not here in the field, as well as Mike Wright. So right now, Dakota Cave, John Walter, and Bob Nestor all looking like they are going to move up with next to no problems this evening. Coming out any moment here to wrap up stage number 1, as we have gotten through that with relative ease, and I don't want to jinx it, but if I do jinx it, you can feel free to send your hate mail to the Independence Broadcasting Network in Conshohocken, care of Dave Regal, the voice of the curse. As stage 1 is won by Michael Overstreet, Tim Swiggett in second position, Jared Small, Tim Trowbridge, Dakota Cave. Round out your top 5 with Alex Princeton, Bob Nestor, Zach Vaughn, Alexander Gangler, and John Bawalda III, rounding out the top 10. So all of those drivers, of course, being awarded those bonus stage points. And I'm going to be interested to see here whether or not or how anybody comes down pit road. Doesn't look like there are going to be any takers coming down pit road tonight. In 2007, Ray Regal had a vision of serving his fellow firefighters' breathing air needs better. As a City of Reading firefighter since 1975, he knows the difficulties of finding the best and most affordable service company to care for and manage the most important means of survival firefighters have: breathing air. Northeastern Fire and Air is committed to providing our brothers and sisters with the best service in the industry and at an affordable cost. For more information, call 610-207-6608 for a consultation today, and know that you can breathe easy with Northeastern Fire and Air.
With the Buttkicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Buttkicker, the future is feeling.
Folks, welcome back as we are getting ready to restart here at to begin stage 2 here on what will be lap number 47 when they come back around, as the iRacing.com Chevrolet pace truck lights are off. Michael Overstreet going to lead everybody back to the green flag. Jarrett Small going to be on his outside. Tim Trowbridge in third. Dakota Cave fourth. Alex Princeton and Tim Swiggett round out your top 6, and those 6 cars all on your lead lap. Now into the lap down cars, Bob Nestor and Alexander Gangler each down 1 lap. John Bawalda, Chris Claude, Zach Vaughn down 2 laps, and Eugenio Alonso down quite a handful there, just about 6 himself. But, I got to believe that, something, if you folks have been watching us week after week here, as we are back under green flag here for stage number 2, when you watch week after week, I mean, this week, it's funny. We run 100% full-length races with stage breaks, the whole schmear, okay? But at the same time, we run them with fewer cautions than the Cup Series. These drivers understand what's on the line. If they drive like nutcases, if they drive like lunatics out here. And speaking of which, there's Jarrett Small running up into the wall, getting it all kinds of sideways. Jarrett Small chasing Dakota Cave down yet again, working the outside of Cave this time, and gets the run on Cave. Jarrett Small gets the run on Cave and now puts Tim Trowbridge in his sights. Trowbridge, of course, only has about a second and a fourth, as 1.4 seconds over Tim Swiggett, so that's going to be one of our closer races of the evening. We'll keep an eye on that. Right now, looking at John Bawalda passing Chris Cloud here in the lap car traffic. Oh, and Nestor goes around just about perpendicular. I do not. There it is. That'll bring out the caution. We'll take a look and see exactly what happened to Bob Nestor here. And we see Bob Nestor here getting himself all kinds of sideways. We're going to see him getting ready to go into turns 1 and 2. And the back end of this car just breaks out. Nestor able to hold on. And my goodness. Now, I know for a fact that Bob Nestor has a direct drive, wheel. And right now, I'm pretty sure that his arms have got to be killing him. Especially after, well, actually, he didn't race last night, but he did race. He is racing tonight, of course. Not very often that we see Nestor get sideways, but when he does, he makes sure to do it right when we're watching him live. Tim Trowbridge sits atop the pile, followed by Tim Swiggett, Dakota Cave, Michael Overstreet, Jarrett Small, Alexander Gangler, Alex Princeton, and of course, your Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series Commissioner, Bob Nestor. "55 of 150 laps complete here at Bristol Motor Speedway here in the Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series. I'm Dave Regal here operating the 1s and 2s, the cameras, and everything in between as things definitely starting to heat up tonight at Bristol Motor Speedway here in the Thunder Valley. Tim Trowbridge looking to bring this field back around as that iRacing.com pace truck getting ready to dive down pit road. Looks like Tim has chosen the outside, as we generally do use the choose cone here in Monday Night NASCAR's Xfinity Series. Trowbridge, Swiggett, Cave, Overstreet, Small, Princeton, and Gangler rounding out your top 7 here on the lead lap with 56 laps complete. as we are about to go back green flag racing. And Timmy Trowbridge takes off, gets the start that he was oh so hoping for. And it looks like he is going to open up that gap pretty well. Oh, we see the 37 of Tim Swiggett getting all kinds of moves up toward the wall, chasing down Jarrett Small in the number 17 Chevrolet. As Jarrett takes that low side, we can see that from right here above them. And I'll tell you what, 37 of Tim Swiggett working his tail off right now to try to keep things going. And folks, you can see these cars beating the doors off of one another here as the dirt is flying, and we can see all that grit starting to go up there and create a little bit deeper of a cushion. As that dirt will not be moving, as you know, here in iRacing, that will start to contribute to where these drivers are finding grip. And we are going to step aside and let you folks turn it up and enjoy the sounds of Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series here on the Independence Racing Network, brought to you by Northeastern Fire and Air, Buttkicker, and RS Button Boxes. And we are back under caution here, and just as we go to sit in Jarrett Small's cockpit, we see him bring it all the way around. We'll get a good look here at Jarrett Small from the cockpit. We see him coming. It looks like he sees the wreck ahead of him, tries to check up, and watch these arms almost rip himself off as he gets himself just all kinds of turned around. It's definitely getting slick down there on the lower portion of this track. And since we have a moment, we'll show Jarrett Small just getting himself wrapped up. Of course, Dakota Cave and then Alex Princeton run into him, but they had nowhere to go. I mean, you know, sometimes your momentum just brings yourself in there. Folks, I am sorry, but that's twice in a row. Thank God for Tom McGee, who's keeping me honest tonight. Michael Overstreet, Tim Trowbridge, Tim Swiggett, there must be something that's glitching in my mute button as I switch between the side-by-side and the full screen. Michael Overstreet, your race leader, Tim Trowbridge in second, Tim Swiggett in third, Jarrett Small in fourth, Alexander Gangler in fifth, and Alex Princeton in sixth. And I believe I'm also getting a news feed from Bob Nestor, your Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series commissioner, who's probably also telling me that I was muted. So I will have to work that out. We probably won't be going side by side anymore since I can't seem to make that work without going mute, which nobody wants to hear me muted. Michael Overstreet with his finger on the button with Tim Trowbridge on the inside. Overstreet getting the jump here as the man in the stand has the green flag in his hand. 68 laps of 150 complete. We are heading for lap number 90 to complete stage 2 here, as stage 1 was definitely exciting as Michael Overstreet had brought home that green and white checkered flag. Now leads this piece here in stage 2, chased down by Tim Trowbridge, who did have himself a small issue just a little while ago, able to get things back under control. And Tim Trowbridge chasing Overstreet down, but right now closest race on the track is Jarrett Small chasing down Tim Swiggett, or is it going to be Alex Princeton chasing down Alexander Gangler in the number 82 Taylor Swift Toyota Supra? Jarrett Small running in 4th position right now in the number 17 Chevrolet, working about 1.1 seconds behind Tim Swiggett. Michael Overstreet still commanding this stage here with 71 laps complete, working his way to 72, as Alexander Gangler now working the 82 on the outside of Jarrett Small. Michael Overstreet still leading this piece here in stage 2. Fans, welcome into the Independence Racing Network broadcast booth, brought to you by Northeastern Fire and Air, RS Button Boxes, and Buttkicker. Folks, we are glad to have you. If you're watching us on YouTube right now, not a whole lot of people watching, but call some friends, grab some popcorn, and settle in as we are marching towards stage number 3. Stage 2 will be completed at lap number 90. And make sure that you subscribe, turn on those bell notifications so that every Monday night you can get yourself a notification to tune in and watch Monday Night NASCAR's Xfinity Series. Michael Overstreet now looking to take down Jarrett Small and put him a lap down as Jarrett Small respectfully gets out of the way. And that will put Alexander Gangler into Michael Overstreet's crosshairs. And we do see Bob Nestor in the number 29 Relative Properties Toyota Supra swinging himself out around Gangler to keep himself at least out of the line of fire right now. And Gangler still chasing Nestor down, even though that Gangler, of course, on the lead lap, Nestor about a lap down. "77 laps complete here as stage 2 getting ready to heat up as we are marching toward lap number 90. You know, folks, this is one thing that's really interesting. Here in the Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series, this is the first year that the Xfinity Series is on dirt here on iRacing. And an interesting fact that I've been sharing all night, that there is no dirt tire model for these Xfinity cars. And the Jones Racing Setup Shop was kind enough to put together a setup that was just special for tonight, as John over there worked his tail off to get that ready for us. And you know, we here at the Independence Racing Network, and I know the Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series drivers, although this is usually an open setup league, very happy to be able to get their hands on a dirt setup for these Xfinity cars.
With the Buttkicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Buttkicker, the future is feeling.
In 2007, Ray Regal had a vision of serving his fellow firefighters' breathing air needs better. As a City of Reading firefighter since 1975, he knows the difficulties of finding the best and most affordable service company to care for and manage the most important means of survival firefighters have: breathing air. Northeastern Fire and Air is committed to providing our brothers and sisters with the best service in the industry and at an affordable cost. For more information, call 610-207-6608 for a consultation today, and know that you can breathe easy with Northeastern Fire and Air. Folks, welcome back to the Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series. I'm Dave Regal here in the broadcast booth. Glad to have you in tonight, as Michael Overstreet has taken full command of this race here on Bristol Dirt. It's dirt, baby. And Michael Overstreet has definitely gotten the phone number here of the dirt people, as this took 2,000 dump trucks full of dirt. 2,000. And they were talking about it yesterday on the Fox broadcast for the Cup Series. And, you know, I don't know if anybody else caught it, but our good buddy Darrell Waltrip, DW, or if you're one of those folks that watches the movie Cars, he is Darrell Cartrip, was up there to utter the true most famous words in motorsports. And although I'm holding back from saying those words, folks, I know that you know what I'm talking about. And 87 laps complete of 150. So we should start to see pit road getting to close as Michael Overstreet crosses for lap number 88 here in stage number 2. And Michael Overstreet bringing it around. Whoa! Gets himself loose down the front stretch. Overstreet working into turns 1 and 2, gets himself back under control, and I got to be honest with you, he has a 1.5 second lead over Timmy Trowbridge in the number 74 Ford. That Dearborn, Michigan machine chasing him down, but definitely doesn't have enough as Overstreet crosses lap number 90 at the start-finish line, brings it around, and John Bawalda not even out on track at the moment. As it looks like Tim has gotten himself a black flag, which I find hard to believe. As we are getting ready to go for that competition caution. And I'll tell you what, I do have to agree with Nathan Rose in our YouTube live chat that Michael Overstreet is definitely looking great tonight atop the pile in the number 39 Toyota Supra, and we are under caution for the end of stage number 2.
With the Buttkicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Buttkicker, the future is feeling.
In 2007, Ray Regal had a vision of serving his fellow firefighters' breathing air needs better. As a City of Reading firefighter since 1975, he knows the difficulties of finding the best and most affordable service company to care for and manage the most important means of survival firefighters have: breathing air. Northeastern Fire and Air is committed to providing our brothers and sisters with the best service in the industry and at an affordable cost. For more information, call 610-207-6608 for a consultation today, and know that you can breathe easy with Northeastern Fire and Air. Welcome back to Bristol Motor Speedway. I am Dave Regal here in the Monday Night NASCAR broadcast booth. Glad to have you in with us tonight. Sponsored by Northeastern Fire and Air. And folks, you know, the first two stages have been exciting. We've gone 90 laps. There is some kind of interference on race radio, as Michael Overstreet has had full command of this race from the drop of the green flag. Tim Trowbridge in the number 74 machine has been chasing him down, but not a whole lot of chance there. Tim Swiggett in the number 37 running in third. Alexander Gangler just coming into pit road was running fourth. Alex Princeton in fifth and Dakota Cave in sixth. Right now, still out on the track. Bob Nestor, Chris Claude, and Jarrett Small running 7, 8, and 9, as Jarrett Small several laps down, nearly 10, as Chris Claude and Bob Nestor each down about 3. So things definitely heating up as we go for this third stage tonight. And after we go back green, we will be plowing ahead toward lap number 150, which will be when the checkered flag waves here. And tonight, so far, Bristol Dirt has been not a factor as far as being bored. This has been nothing but excitement here. And we are glad to have you here with us on YouTube, of course. And as I keep begging you folks, turn on those bell notifications. Make sure that you're subscribing to the Independence Racing Network, as it definitely helps get more eyeballs to your friends and family out here on the racetrack. And, of course, I'd be foolish not to tell you the truth, which is something you will always get here on the Independence Racing Network. It helps me out, too. It helps get my voice out there and heard by other people in the media community. And we are back under green on lap number 97 of 150 as we are marching toward that black and white checkered flag. Tim Trowbridge now seems to think that he's got things figured out, driving that number 74 machine from Dearborn, Michigan, chasing down Michael Overstreet. Tim Swiggett in third, Alex Princeton in fourth, Alexander Gangler in fifth, and Dakota Cave in sixth. And I'll tell you what, Dakota Cave, one of these drivers that we could watch every week with absolutely no problem, because he always keeps it exciting, as he is the last car on the lead lap. And right now, Chris Claude on the number 10 Dasani Toyota. You know, I got to be honest with you, as I'm looking down this leaderboard here, there are 4 Chevrolets, 1 Ford, and everybody else is a Toyota. So, you know, obviously a lot of Toyota fans here. And, you know, here's an interesting fact about Toyota. Originally, the word Toyota, I mean, it's a last name from Japan. And interestingly enough, they used to be makers of looms for weaving, and their last name was Toyoda, Tyoyoda. And the son of the original loom maker basically wanted to strike out and start inventing, you know, building these things called automobiles, which was terrifying. Oh, and we're under yellow, so we will get back to that in a moment, as Alex Princeton has gotten it all wrong. We'll take a look and see what happened to him. We see him just getting the back end all kinds of loose, rubbing the back wall, all kinds of loose, but not the end of the world. Anyway, Mr. Toyota, the father, didn't want his name associated with, didn't want his spelling of the name or his looms associated with these fancy new things called automobiles. So the son changed the spelling of the word Toyota to Toyota, which, I mean, to me, kind of interesting, especially when all you're trying to do is hide the name of who created it. You know, auto manufacturers have a long history of basically most of the cars that you see today out on the road are the manufacturers are last names. It's not a conglomerate. These were things that were through history taken care of and taken as a family business. Of course, there was Walter Chrysler, of course, formerly working for Buick and General Motors, strikes out to create his own car. And of course, Chrysler managed to make sure that he had muscle and luxury over there. And me personally, I do love a Chrysler brand product, whether it's Chrysler, Dodge, or Jeep. And, we talk about other names that are basically car manufacturers. And the other popular car out here tonight, of course, is those Chevrolet bow ties. And, of course, that bow tie emblem was introduced in 1913. And Chevrolet, of course, was originally named for a Swiss race car driver and automotive engineer, Louis Chevrolet, who co-founded the Chevrolet Motor Company in Detroit along with his brother Arthur. So, something very interesting, as you think about the Dodge brothers or the Chevrolets, Daimler, Benz, they're all names. Then, of course, you get into even fuels. There's diesel, which is originally diesel. So always something about names and people who were very proud of what they were doing in not only motorsports, but automobile history. Michael Overstreet getting ready to go back green here on lap number 107. Gets the jump over Tim Swiggett. Swiggett working the outside right now of Overstreet. And looks like Trowbridge working the inside of the 37. Tim Swiggett gets himself way washed up the racetrack, and that opens the door for Trowbridge to chase down Overstreet. Right now, there's Alexander Gangler in the number 82 Taylor Swift Toyota Supra chasing down Dakota Cave. Glad to have you in with us tonight here on the Independence Racing Network, brought to you by Northeastern Fire and Air, Buttkicker, and RS Button Boxes. We are glad to have these partners here with Monday Night NASCAR. Oh, and Tim Trowbridge able to wrangle that Ford all the way back down. Being the only Ford out there on this racetrack has to be kind of a unique feeling to him. And, of course, we don't really have to get into the history of Ford like we did Chevrolet and Toyota. Everybody too much at this point. A bunch of Toyotas and Chevrolets out here. Michael Overstreet, Tim Trowbridge, Tim Swiggett, Dakota Cave, and Alexander Gangler, your top five, and your lead lap cars as Bob Nestor trying to work his way back up there. One more caution, and he should be the lucky dog and back on the lead lap in the number 29. The number 29 Relative Properties Toyota Supra. And we're going to take a look inside his cockpit and watch him work this wheel. As we can see, my goodness, here he is on slicks holding it together. I mean, Bob is working his arms right off. in those purple and black gloves. I mean, we see him just fighting the wheel left to start the turn, right to keep it centered, and just barely into the throttle as he crosses the start-finish line. So, you know, Bob working those arms as hard as he can. I'm sure he's going to be glad at the end of tonight. And folks, if you are watching us on YouTube, if you're one of the few and faithful right now, Rebecca Miller says, let's slide our way up. Number 7, and Dakota Cave has been working his way up through the field as he is now sitting in P3, being chased down by Tim Swiggett. But we are under caution, and in a strange turn of events, Chris Claude may have spun himself out. We're going to take a look. And we see Chris Claude just going right into turn 1. And in an uncharacteristic move for him, Chris Claude self-spins. Chris Claude, of course, the commissioner of Sunday Night NASCAR's Cup Series. And basically, the man, the myth, the legend who assembled the leadership for Monday Night NASCAR and Tuesday Night Thunder Trucks in an uncharacteristic self-spin. Well, folks, we are here on lap number 120 of 150, and I have to be honest with you, this has been an incredible race tonight here in the Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series. You know, very few cautions have come out tonight, especially when you consider what Sunday Night Cup Series was, and what I'm sure tomorrow night's going to be. As the Xfinity Series here, part of the Sunday Night NASCAR family of racing series, has always prided themselves in making sure that they are clean and fast. And these drivers working their way toward lap number 150 have really put together a heck of a show tonight, as with that caution does add Bob Nestor back to the lead lap group of cars. So that will put 6 cars on the lead lap now, which of course makes space for Chris Claude, but Chris Claude down 4 laps right now. So going to take a little bit of work to get himself back up where he wants to be tonight. Chevrolet Pace truck lights are out as they come out of turn 2 and down the backstretch. The 39 of Michael Overstreet, with control of the field, rolls off here. The man in the stand gets the green flag in his hand. We are back underway on lap number 122 of 150 at Bristol Motor Speedway here in the dirt. Tim Swiggett working in 3rd position right now, chasing down the muddy front end of Tim Trowbridge. Tim Trowbridge trying to keep that car rotating just right. I mean, you know, something that we talk about so much in racing, especially on asphalt, is we're going to take a moment. something that we talk about so much on asphalt is getting a car to rotate in the corners, making sure that as the car is coming through the corner, that back end starts to come around as we get ourselves set up for the exit. So here on dirt, you can watch the fulcrum of that car. It's almost, dead middle, making the rotation. So, if you're trying to apply what you learn in road racing, if you try to apply what you're doing here in road racing, to asphalt, that's definitely the same termination that we're going to see, every week on asphalt, as we are now 26 laps to go here at Bristol Motor Speedway. "25 laps to go here at Bristol Motor Speedway in the Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series 150. And, something that I do want to bring up is Sunday nights over on Sim Racing Media. Now, last night I had the privilege of being in the broadcast booth on Sim Racing Media to call that race alongside my good friend Tony Trapasso. Every Sunday night at 8:30 p.m. they are live over there. And then tomorrow night over on the Performance Motor Network will be our Tuesday night Thunder Trucks. So all three, unlike some leagues that are just literally one division, this is three divisions in one giant league. All three of these divisions are broadcasting this. Just as I say that, it looks like Tim Swiggett gets it all wrong here. We're going to go to the replay and take a look. Tim Swiggett in the number 37. We're going to see him come down here as the 37 literally just loses all of his grip, brings it around, and he actually manages to do more than a 360, just about a 720. Folks, glad to have you with us in the YouTube live chat, and if you are just tuning in on YouTube, make sure that you subscribe and turn on those bell notifications as we are live every Monday night here on the Independence Racing Network. Glad to have you with us, as always. Rebecca Miller, Nate Rose, Jack Dow Motorsports, glad to have all of you. Looks like Alexander Gangler going to be bringing that number 82 hand-painted Taylor Swift machine off of pit road, and we can see that Taylor Swift machine, folks. This is the dedicated work of one Tom McGee, personal friend of mine, and of course a friend of the broadcast. Look at this beautiful Taylor Swift paint scheme. I know that Alexander Gangler, an absolute super fan of Miss Swift, the Wyomissing, Pennsylvania native, and folks, as we are 19 laps to go, not sure if anybody else is interested, but there's a whole lot of stuff going on elsewhere in the world of sports tonight, as, of course, we are in the third full week of baseball season. And quite frankly, that's usually where my heart lays. And right now, the Angels and Astros lead the Angels in the top of the seventh. The Phillies are trailing the Rockies 2-0. The Orioles are trailing the Athletics in the top of the fourth. The Padres lead the Reds. Of course, the Padres, the employer of a good friend of mine, Mr. Frank Marchese, And the Dodgers leading the Braves just early on here as the Braves are on their West Coast swing in the top of the second. So 18 laps to go here at Bristol Motor Speedway. We are back underway here with 16 laps to go now. And overall, it looks like Michael Overstreet's still commanding this race. Now, keep in mind, this is going to be a drop race for most of the NASCAR Xfinity Series drivers tonight, as Michael Overstreet, definitely going to be carrying this along, as Tim Trowbridge, Dakota Cave, Alexander Gangler, Bob Nestor definitely sealing in their top 5 performances tonight. 14 laps to go here at Bristol Dirt. And I'm Dave Regal here in the Independence Racing Network broadcast booth. And I have to tell you, folks, this race from stem to stern has been incredibly clean, although that it's dirty out there on the track. Michael Overstreet has led Tim Trowbridge, and these two drivers have been going at it hammer and tongs all night long. Right now, the way things look here, Michael Overstreet leads Tim Trowbridge, Dakota Cave, Bob Nestor, and Alexander Gangler. Not only your top 5, but the only 5 cars left on the lead lap. And Alexander Gangler has been fighting this 82. Whoa! Slides up in front of Bob Nestor. That's a slide job if I've ever seen one, as now Alexander Gangler secures 4th spot by complete accident. Definitely not planned tonight, as Nestor's got to be back there with a full-on Code Brown moment, running in 5th position in that number 29 Relative Properties Toyota Supra. Dakota Cave out here running in 3rd position right now, chasing down Tim Trowbridge. And Rebecca Miller, I got to be honest with you. Thank you very much. I do appreciate the kind words, Rebecca Miller. Of course, the mother of Dakota Cave driving the number 7 Toyota. So thank you, Rebecca. I very much appreciate you watching us every week from start to finish, as your son Dakota is out here chasing that checkered flag every week. Eight laps to go now as Michael Overstreet is building his lead, but Tim Trowbridge not ready to go to bed early tonight. Dakota Cave, of course, has a lot of distance to make up right now. He can only hope for a late caution here, which could definitely tighten the field back up and bring everybody back the way they belong, which would put Dakota Cave in a better position for success. And we see Bob Nestor yet again wheeling that number 29 around. And Chris Claude, your 6th place car, getting ready to go down yet another lap as Michael Overstreet passes him. And you know what? I know Chris Claude personally, and at this point, he is more than happy to finish tonight in 6th position, because right now, I believe, without a shadow of a doubt, this should be his best finish of the season so far in the Xfinity Series. 4 laps to go here at Bristol Dirt. And, you know, I'll tell you what, folks, this track here at Bristol, we call it the last great Coliseum, and it truly is. I mean, these drivers have managed to really bring this place, especially here in the Xfinity cars, to a new definition of good racing. As these drivers are out here, as I've mentioned several times tonight, without an actual dirt tire. So, you know, they're working against all odds to be able to even get these cars around this track, as we see Michael Overstreet now lapping Bob Nestor the good old-fashioned way, putting him down a lap and leaving just 4 cars on the lead lap. 2 to go now, as Michael Overstreet getting himself settled in now with the white flag in the air. We are on the final lap of tonight's race. Michael Overstreet coming down the backstretch one last time, comes into turn 3, gets behind Gangler. Is he going to put Gangler down another lap? No, Gangler stays on the lead lap as Michael Overstreet takes the checkered flag here tonight in the Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series.
With the Buttkicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Buttkicker, the future is feeling.
Welcome back to Bristol Motor Speedway. We do have quite a race that just completed here, and Dakota Cave, Dave Regal up here in the broadcast booth. You got a copy, brother? Hey, man, listen, you did a heck of a job tonight trying to keep it up front there. And, I mean, you were definitely competitive all night long. I mean, what do you attribute that to? What were you using the Jones Racing setup, or did you have something different?
Practice with as much as we could throughout the week, but not having the slick tires and not having any dirt tires at all it's a pain to drive.
Oh, that I'm absolutely sure of. I mean, the first thing when I reached out to Jones Racing Setups was, you know, hey, there's no dirt tire. What do you want us to do? And I thought, well, I don't know. What do you do?
Yeah, it was the Sunday night. I thought I was gonna have my hands full, being that I only run asphalt really anyway. But then I came here and started running these, and I was like, well, I was really wrong about that, because it was a workout the entire night. You just gotta try to keep it out of the wall as much as you can, and try to be as fast as you can too. But I'll take third. That'll work with me.
Absolutely, man. Do you have anybody you'd like to thank before we cut you loose here?
Yeah, shout out to my mom. I'm sure she was in the chat. And
Oh God,
Dad
yeah, she was.
it.
Listen, I love having your mom. Listen, I love having your mom in our chat. She is out here cheering you on every week, dude.
Oh yeah, I believe it every time. To my girlfriend too. She watches every race as well. To RKM Setup Shop for providing our Sunday night setup that we had, and then to my teammates Jared and Kavaja too, because we put in the work throughout the entire week when we have opportunity to, just to try to get the best runs we can out here.
All right, brother. Well, listen, you go celebrate this third position podium win, and we'll cut you loose.
All right, absolutely. Thank you, Dave.
That was third place winner Dakota Cave, and right now we have the man, the myth, the legend, the number 74 Ford driver, Timmy Trowbridge, here in the broadcast booth. Hey, Tim, it's Dave Regal. You got a copy?
Hey, Dave. Yeah, I got you.
Hey, man, listen, great to be here on the podium with you tonight. You know, so many nights I'm sitting here and I'm watching you night in and night out. You know, last night we did it in Cup Series, and, you know, most nights I'm watching you in Cup Series while I'm out on the track, and Xfinity, I watch you out here on the track every week. I mean, you are so good, but, you know, sometimes you get a tough break. Here you are tonight finishing P2.
Yeah, obviously we all do this for fun, but starting to really get competitive in here, and just this was a really fun night. I got to give mad props to Michael there. I tried my darndest to get him there, but just geared her wrong and couldn't get off the corners there, and had a couple shots at him, but man, he had a fast car tonight.
He absolutely did. And, you know, I have to be honest. I mean, all you drivers up there, especially because you're working without a dirt tire, I mean, that's impressive, brother.
Oh, it was definitely weird. I definitely really liked the Cup race last night compared to this, but that was a lot of fun. It took a lot of wheeling the car around to actually make the laps, and then not only just make it around, but make it around pretty quick. So, like I said, I gotta give it to Michael. He set the car up really great. Robert Nestor had given us a pretty good baseline, and like I said, unfortunately I went with the wrong gear choice. Just couldn't get off the corners well enough, but no, that was a lot of fun for sure.
Oh, yeah, and I mean, trust me, when you're talking about gear choice, I mean, last year in Truck Series, we had a lot of guys trying to use just the two gears and wound up with a lot of folks blowing that motor because, you know, you're wound up so hard. So, you know, glad to see everybody at least finishing tonight here.
Oh yeah, I was one of those bozos that was running with a 3-gear. Like I said, wrong choice, but hopefully we'll pack it up today and come back strong tomorrow for the truck race.
Absolutely, and as you get ready to put it on the hauler for the night, is there anybody that you'd like to thank for tonight?
Well, first off, got to thank the broadcaster. Always love watching the stuff back over again, see how well we did, or how much fun you make fun of, or how much you make fun of us, and then give a shout to Robert, John, and Chris, all the admins, always obviously giving us a place to run all this stuff at, and my team, Imperial Motorsports, and then my girlfriend, obviously, for letting me do this stuff crazy. Is it almost 11 o'clock at night? Still got to go to work tomorrow, so got to give a shout to all those people.
Hey, trust me, I get it. Late nights get kind of late, but you know what? As long as you're having fun, that's all that really matters. So glad to have you with us, Tim, and we'll see you tomorrow night for Truck Series.
Sounds good. Thank you.
That was Tim Trowbridge, driver of the number 74 Ford, and always glad to have him with us. And tonight, here in the Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series, we get to come to a relative newcomer here in the series, Michael Overstreet, driver of the number 39 Toyota Supra, gets the job done tonight here at Bristol. Michael Overstreet, Dave Regal up here in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Man, congratulations on getting to victory lane here so early in your Monday Night NASCAR career. What do you have going on with this setup? I mean, did you have spikes on the tires to help dig into the dirt?
Oh, man, if you watch me the last, 20, 30 laps there, no, I think they wore off. No, I love dirt. You know, I come from the dirt background, and it's always kind of just, stuck with me there. I made this setup from scratch based off of the asphalt Bristol setup, and man, I don't know. I got this thing turning like an actual dirt car, handling like an actual dirt car, a lot more acceleration on the transmission than top speed, and I think that's where a lot of people were having issues. But yeah, man, yeah, I told you, I told you a couple days ago, if I didn't win this, I'd be really disappointed.
Yeah, it's always nice when I'm talking to somebody via DM in Discord, and all of a sudden it's like everything that they've been talking about comes true. I mean, it's because when you're focused on something, it's more heartbreaking when you're focused on something, and like you just said, that you don't come out of victory lane. But when you're so focused on something, you're working to make that right. And I mean, you've put in the time. You have decided to make sure that this is going to be how you hone your craft. And quite frankly, we're glad that you helped put on such a great show tonight.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. Yeah, it was, like I said, it was a lot of fun early on, having to weave through traffic. That was pretty terrifying at times. Luckily, most of the time when I had to do that, I had pretty decent gap behind me, so I could kind of take my time and methodically move certain ways and whatnot. But I mean, all in all, the setup is what allowed me to do that even. So yeah, I spent a lot of hours on this thing this week, so I'm just glad that it paid off here.
Absolutely, man. I mean, here you are. I think we should call this the Fear the Beard 150 at Bristol. I mean, you've definitely worked your tail off. So is there anybody that you'd like to thank tonight?
Absolutely. First and foremost, Cystic Fibrosis Foundation. Got my boy Nate watching, and his kids have it. And I've always been able to fly these colors on here and managed to get a hookup from Hawk Designs. Put out this pretty sick looking car. Thinking about getting a die cast of it, honestly. But other than that, everybody in the league for putting on a good show and for the most part fairly clean. And then you, of course, for putting on the broadcast.
Hey man, listen, I come out here to broadcast on a Monday night because it's so much fun to watch you guys go around these pieces and get it done week in and week out. So I appreciate the tip of the cap, sir, and I tip my cap directly back at you, as you have definitely made Victory Lane your home tonight in Thunder Valley. So we're going to get you cut loose here so you can go and celebrate with the rest of the league, as I'm sure it looks like Race Chat may be empty now, but we're going to cut you loose here tonight. So Michael Overstreet, your race winner this evening, worked his tail off all night, as we're going to watch him do a little bit of a celebration here, as he knows how to show us a good time, as he is going to do some donuts in that very muddy number 39 Toyota Supra. And folks, we'll take a quick look here at our final results here. All 14 cars, of course, 12 of them actually on the track tonight. Michael Overstreet brings home the checkered flag, followed by Tim Trowbridge. Dakota Cave finishes P3. Alexander Gangler in 4th. Bob Nestor in 5th. Chris Claude in 6th. Tim Swiggett in 7th. Alex Princeton. And Alex, thank you for your kind words in the YouTube live chat. Always glad to be out here, whether I'm racing alongside of you or watching you race other drivers. Always glad to be around you, buddy. And Jarrett Small in 9th, driving the number 17 Chevrolet. John Bawalda from Jackdown Motorsports finishes your top 10, with Zach Vaughn, Eugenio Alonso rounding out the 12 cars that finished and started this race. So, folks, next week we are getting ready to go to a super speedway, and it's going to be 2.66 miles of thunder down in Talladega, Alabama. And I'll tell you what, I'm totally stoked. I mean, super speedways are my usual suspects for excitement. So next Monday night here at 8:30 p.m. in the Northeastern Fire and Air broadcast booth on the Independence Racing Network, we will be bringing you Monday Night NASCAR's Xfinity Series from Buttkicker and RS Button Boxes. Live action from Talladega, Alabama, and the Talladega Super Speedway, 2.66 miles of speed. So for myself, everybody at the Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series, and here at the Independence Racing Network, I'm Dave Regal, telling you that you know what, tomorrow, make sure that you enjoy one moment. Make sure that you enjoy that 1 second of clarity and hold on to it as your happy thought for the day. Good night, everybody.